and I would like to welcome you all to Conversations with the Cinephile, a NewsBox exclusive episode. Today, we are really proud to have amongst us a personality par excellence, a film critic, a writer, formerly with The Hindu, currently with the Film Companion, and a National Film Award winner for Best Movie Critic in 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our guest today, Baradwaj Rangan. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, honestly, personally, I'm a big fan, and I do have a huge interest in films. So, before we begin and we speak about a wide range of topics, I would just like to begin by asking you that could you tell our viewers a bit about what exactly is it to be a film critic, like an average day in the life of a film critic?
It means watching movies, writing about them. It means interviewing, because these days news organizations are cutting down on people, so we no longer can afford to have separate people to interview personalities and separate people to review films.
And sir, if I'm not wrong, sir, I had read that the first movie you reviewed was Dumb.
Yeah.
Right? So since then, how has the journey been? Like, how many movies do you watch on a daily basis? Or
It's getting interesting, because when I started out, it was mainly print,
right.
and we had a lot of time to do things like submit reviews and all, but now everything's become almost instant.
Exactly.
So I think that's been the, it keeps us busy.
Or, like,
I end up watching, like, if you average it out, it ends up being about a movie a day, because it's like between the stuff that you watch because you want to watch them on your own time, the stuff that you have to watch.
Exactly.
Film festivals means you end up watching 3-4 a day.
True.
So yeah, it ends up like a day or thing, but that's the nature of the job. I think a lot of people think that it's an easy job,
Right.
but I kind of say it's not an easy job. It's because you're not watching movies purely for pleasure.
Exactly.
You're also trying to kind of try and understand the film, try and get some basic analysis out of it.
Yes.
So I would say it's interesting. It's an interesting job, but it's not just like you're sitting back watching popcorn, watching movies and then just coming back to your house and chilling. No, it's not that.
Right, sir. Right. So, sir, moving on to the first question. So, sir, the Oscars are looming and they are almost around the corner. So, I would just like to know, and I'm sure the viewers are also interested to know, that what would your opinion be? Like, what is your take on this year's nominations in general to begin with?
I think it's a fairly safe set of nominations. I think the movies that have had traction in terms of earlier you get the same movies. The Oscars have never been terribly adventurous.
Right.
They've always been fairly safe in terms of how they select movies. Right. So there's no real unexpected film that the Academy picked and said, oh, this is something we're going to recognize. It was all pretty much along expected lines.
Sir, and so speaking of nominations in the Oscars, every year the same debate comes up about the Oscars being so white and the diversity question. Like, so for example, this year again, Greta Gerwig did not get a nomination for Little Women. So, like, sir, what is your take on that? Do you think she deserved it? What do the Academy nominees think of? Like,
I see. It's a little hard to say, because it's true that critics love Little Women, but when you're talking about voters, it's very hard to say whether they deliberately shut her out because she's a woman or because they genuinely didn't care for the movie. I don't know how to weigh in on this situation. Should there be more women directors in these lists? Definitely, absolutely. But you're also talking about years of a certain kind of profession in which directors were mostly male. So it's going to take a lot of time for women to catch up to the sheer numbers, because right now if you look at the sheer number of male filmmakers versus female filmmakers, it's a very disproportionate ratio. The real thing is to keep talking about this, so that more women get into fields, get into films, get into making films, so that there are more female filmmakers telling stories, and there are more female filmmakers being accepted in the mainstream. And I think like in all kinds of films. And so I think it's important to keep talking about it, so that people understand that it's important to go out there and do this as a job, and make this a more even playing field. Because one thing I'm very sure about is you cannot choose films because they are made by any particular minority, right? You cannot do that. You have to go by, even with the subjective quality, you will have to choose between, ideally my thing is, I always say this, it's like, You just remove the name of the director,
right,
and show the film and make the people decide.
exactly.
You know, it's like you don't know whether they're Chinese, American, gay, straight,
exactly.
woman, man, whatever. Just remove the name of the director and then kind of
cinema should ultimately stand out.
Should ultimately stand out. It's a very important conversation to have, but at the same time, it's not as easy as saying 50% should be men and 50% should be women, because we're ultimately talking about an award for quality.
Exactly.
So I think the chances of widening the pool and making the academy, I think one of the things that needs to be done is also check how the academy is built. That's a really vital point that Sir has raised. And moving on, so Sir, you mentioned about Parasite. So Sir, like Parasite has become such a phenomenon since its release. And Sir, the director Sir Bong Joon-ho, he said that he famously quoted that if you can get past the 1-inch barrier of subtitles, there's a whole new world of movies waiting for you. So could you like tell our viewers a little bit more about why world cinema is so important? We've seen it with Roma, and now we're seeing it again with Parasite. So like, why do you think that a lot of people don't get to watch these movies? Like Parasite is one of the few that is actually releasing in India tomorrow. One thing we have to understand is that not everyone is a cinephile, and not everyone has to be. Yeah. For most 99% of the people throughout the world, film is something that you go because you want to relax and have a good time. Yeah. You either want to laugh, or you want to be like told a very like dramatic story, or you want to be frightened out of your chair, or basically have a reaction. I want to watch a scary movie, I want to watch a thriller. Nobody says I want to go and watch an art movie. Right. They go for a certain kind of type of movie that they want to watch. I want to watch a Marvel, fantasy, whatever it is. Say world cinema, it's a little misleading, because throughout the world you have both art films being made and you have commercial films being made, mainstream films being made. I think the real distinction is between mainstream cinema and art cinema. Okay. So that's the real mainstream cinema, and I think that's where you get into things, because people may want, like the cinephiles may rave about something like Roma, but how many average audiences have actually seen Roma? That's the kind of thing we have to see. So the audience for the subtitled films and the other kind of films are always going to be limited. The average Tamilian will watch Tamil films. They may watch a Hindi film because of some glamour or something like that, and they will watch English films. That is their ambit. Another thing that we should stop deluding ourselves is by reading film Twitter and everybody's raving about it. Everybody's not raving about it. It's like some 5 people raving about it. Let's get realistic. The world is a huge place and not everybody's on Twitter. So not just because some 5-10 people are raving about it doesn't mean, like non-Tamilians are raving about this, or Tamil industry is really gone forward. No, it's not. It's a very small cinephile audience that's watching all these films. So how do we expand this cinephile audience? With subtitles. Their subtitles come in useful because there are people dying to watch, people who really love films, dying to watch films from other cultures, and they are the ones that will benefit really from subtitles. The average audience, I'm very certain, will not watch films with subtitles because they don't want to read and watch a film. That's a genuine problem, which is why even in Europe you'll find that certain countries in Europe will have subtitles and certain countries in Europe will dub. Because they don't like, the country does not like, Germany dubs. So and dubbing is one of the most destructive things to a film, because you're literally changing the whole syntax of like imagine Lunchbox, Irfan Khan and Nimrat Kaur play talking in German. It kills the movie, right? But that's how they like to watch the movie. So what is your take on this year's, last year's entry for the Oscars, which was Gully Boy? Sir, I mean, where do you think it is that India is maybe lagging consistently? Since Lagan, there's not been a really strong contender. Maybe Rang De Basanti, which came a little close. But since then, we are not being able to send a film which is really grabbing the audience or the attention of the voters. So, which movie do you think, or which regional cinema area do you think could break this trend? See, you can argue both ways. If Gully Boy had made it, then people would be saying it's the right choice. If now that it's not made it, you're saying it's not the right choice. See, the dilemma is this. The really small, arty kind of films don't have the money to go and do the campaign. A Gully Boy has the money to do the campaign, but I don't know why. It's something else. Maybe it's because it's a fairly regular story or whatever it is. So do you think it's because people saw too many similarities with 8 Mile, for example? Probably, but these things are very hard to retro analyze. See, ultimately you have to choose a film that does 2 things well. One is it's a good film, and one is it's a film whose producers have enough money to go and spend on the Oscar campaign. Those two things are very important. You cannot pick up some very small Malayalam film and send off to the Oscars because they don't have the money or the budget. Or the government should allocate a certain budget and say this is we're going to back the money. It's going to cost some 25 crores or whatever it is. We are going to give the person. Then that's fine. Then you send anybody to the Oscars, give them a good PR team from abroad and send them of course.
So which movie would you have liked to have sent?
Probably something like Amish.
Like Amish. Okay.
Yeah. Probably something like that because that's a very interesting story. It's an Indian story. There's a very bizarre thing happening there. It's a love story, but there's darkness. Right. It's also a very easily followable story to an international audience. Right. I would have sent something like that, though. Whether Bhaskar Sarika has the money to do that, I don't know. But I would definitely have sent something like that if it were given to me because it's a movie that fulfills a certain kind of definition of internationalism, if that's the word, that voters look for. Yeah, because they want something that's local in terms of flavor, but also something that's in the grammar of things that they are used to, and I think that works for them.
So, sir, now we come to the question of the Oscars. So, sir, could you just briefly tell us what do you think are your predictions for the top 5 categories, which would be the Best Picture, Actor, Actress, and Original Screenplay? And director, of course.
I think original screenplay is going to go to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think Best Actor is going to be basically definitely Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
So you think it's a no-brainer?
It's a no-brainer. I think because it's just too big a wave, and also people see him as somebody that hasn't won in a while. So there's all those factors. He's like sometimes it's about awarding an actor because of a more momentum that comes. Actress, I would say, who are the actors again? Scarlett Johansson.
Renée Zellweger.
Yeah, for Judy.
And go with one name.
I'd say Renée Zellweger.
Yeah.
Best Picture, I would say, is the most interesting thing because I think it's going to be 1917.
1917.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think they would give Parasite the best foreign film award.
Right. So like how they did with Roma.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what's going to happen. But it would be great if Parasite breaks the barrier and they decide that this is the year that we're going to recognize, because it is a far superior film to anything out there. Right. I mean, it's a marvelous film, a great example of how to take a very, very mainstream kind of film, but have so much of layering and metaphor and subtext and fantastic filmmaking without alienating the lay audience. And that's something that I keep teaching in my class, that the ideal film will have like an overall thing that even the guy who wants to munch popcorn and watch a movie will watch, but it will have so many layers that even the person who wants to deconstruct or dissect the film will have. And it's just like both, it works at both levels. It works just as a pure plain film. It works also as even if you don't understand that there are 3 classes of people that are being talked about and things like that, you still have a nail biting thing. So I think it's easily the best film of the year.
It remains to be seen if Parasite could break the trend this year.
Yeah.
But coming to the question of Best Director, so that is another area. So would it be like, do you think Bong Joon-ho could pull off an upset there?
I really, I'm going to watch this year's Oscars because for what has changed, it's not that predictable. Over a while I stopped watching it because it's pretty much like it's just people win at the Golden Globes, the same people win at the BAFTAs, and then the same people win at the Oscars. So there's like so much thing. Though it helps that predictability is interesting for me because 2 people I really like, Laura Dern and Brad Pitt, are pretty much certain to win for the supporting actor category. So I'm really happy.
I think Brad Pitt has had it long time.
That time coming, and he's a damn good actor. He's an old soul movie star. So I think it all works, right? Yes. And Best Director is going to be a problem because I think maybe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, maybe too. I don't know, it may be a little polarizing, that film, but I also think it contains the best directing work outside of Bong Joon-ho. So I would either like Quentin Tarantino to get it or Bong Joon-ho.
That's a really interesting overview by Baradwaj sir, and it remains to be seen how true these predictions are, and we are all looking forward to see if these really come to fruition in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks from now. Sir, we'll just move on to something more Bollywood and Indian right now. So, sir, the question pertaining is to the Indian audience is that, like, sir, recently Netflix dropped ghost stories, right? And sir, that is a genre where India has not really achieved much of success. The horror genre is something where we are not really being able to capitalize on the audiences. So, why do you think this went wrong? Because the quartet of directors, they've given us Bombay Talkies, they've given us lust stories. So then suddenly this segment came and it didn't work for some reason. Why do you think India in general is not working in the horror segment?
See, the thing is also that India is a very unique filmmaking country with a very unique filmmaking grammar. So even when we say horror films, we are talking about Bees Saal Baad, Ghost Stories, or we're talking about Raz, we're talking about all these films where you have romance, you have songs, you have something else, you have scares, everything is happening. So for us, pure genre films are still a very new concept, you know, like a pure horror film, like a pure something, you know. It's like we're still used to this one size fits all kind of thing. I mean, imagine Raz is one of those films that is as known for its horror as for its hit soundtrack.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like imagine in like making something like that where, you know, people are saying, oh, I love that soundtrack. Naveen Shravan had a great soundtrack. Oh, by the way, it's a horror movie. I mean, at the world, people will be like, what horror movie soundtrack? You know, they'll be like, they'll think of soundtrack as in the background score. People are saying that now The Conjuring is a huge hit, right? They have this difference in the way they approach foreign films and us. They're saying, I will watch Conjuring. I will watch Nun with their grammar. But when it comes to our movies, I will still want some of our grammar to come in. I don't know so how they make the difference, because the level of success of a Conjuring shows that it's not just the English speaking population that's going and watching them. A lot of local population is watching them. But for some reason, that's working there. But they're not willing to take the same level of pure horror in our films. So it's that's what keeps Indian cinema so interesting. That's why I always feel that when you're a critic, you have to have an Indian sensibility in you. You cannot keep like you know, just watching all these foreign films and applying those rules to us, because this is a very unique beast. Just like our food is a very unique beast, you know. It's like it's so different in terms of, we are the kind of person like you know, we'll have pizza but add ketchup on it. You know, like in the US, nobody like they'll add something. Nobody adds ketchup on pizza, you know. But here we love to dunk things in like sauces and you know, like samosa you dunk it. Oh, ketchup also you dunk it. You know, sorry, pizza also you dunk it. So our tastes are so different. Our the way we consume stuff is so different. So I think you need to have that sensibility to kind of not immediately say, oh, horror, this is impure because it has a song or whatever it is. That it has to, you have to have that Indian switch in you that gets activated every time you're watching like an Indian, or in fact I would go as far as saying, like when you enter a movie, you should be able to enter different kinds of movie with the expectations, with the genre expectations of that particular thing in mind, rather than, you know, looking down on stuff because it's Indian or whatever it is, you know. So like a Salman Khan movie is not automatically bad. It could be bad because it's not doing what that particular movie is supposed to do. But it doesn't mean that genre movie is bad. And if you're not able to appreciate a genre movie, then you shouldn't be reviewing it.
Exactly. Sir, you mentioned about Salman Khan. So, sir, like when you're automatically reviewing a movie of an actor with such magnitude like a Khan, so he has a huge fan base. So, have you ever felt that, has there been any controversial movie or statements that you have made where you have faced backlash for a big star?
If any big star movies that you don't like, they end up like, you know, they'll end up trolling you on Twitter. And if you like it, they'll be, it's a no-win situation. So, there'll be these people that if you like a big star's films, they'll say, one section will say, how can you like it? And another one will say, oh, finally Baradwaj Rangan likes my star's movie, how nice, and all that kind of. Then if you don't like it, then the fans of the actor will come and say, you only like, you know, some you know, the artistic directors' movies, and then the other guys will come and say, you know, finally your review makes sense. You're not like bending over and appreciating a big star. There's no winning on either side, you know. It's you have to just do your, like, keep your blinkers on, and do, they're not blinkers in a bad sense, but you just have to be very single-minded about what you do and not let these opinions, and not write because you want to appear a certain way or want to appear cool, or be very honest to your opinions, even though people may laugh at you or you know, like that, because ultimately that's what you're standing on, right? You're not standing on trends, you're standing on an opinion. The reason people come to see you or or read you is because you have strong opinions, and those opinions are what you have to hold on to.
That, sir, like, is a question that we all need to address because it's been there for quite a while right now. That is the nepotism question.
Right.
So, sir, like, basically from what we have addressed, what we have noticed is that there's a definite demarcation between the star kids, and there are others like who either make it or they fade away. For example, sir, like one person who came up with a lot of promise was Rajat Barmecha in Quran. But since then, sir, he's not really been seen a lot in the mainstream media. Though the movie was really good, it received a lot of plaudits. So, where do you think, like, who do you think has the ability to make it big? Like, we have a Siddhant Chaturvedi on one hand, and we have a Janvi Kapoor on the other hand. So, do you think the outsiders can maybe topple the star kids one day, or where's the balance?
It's a very complicated question, you know. It's very easy to go and say nepotism down, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, people should not, you know, be chosen because they belong to a particular family.
True.
But it's inevitable that people will be given a chance because they belong to a particular family.
Yes.
Now let's take, like, I'm glad Alia Bhatt exists.
Yes.
I'm glad Varun Dhawan
I think we all
exists.
are, yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to disqualify her because, you know, she's like a thing on that. I'm glad Amitabh Bachchan exists. I'm glad Shah Rukh Khan exists because they are people who fought their way to the top. Now, there are two things, right? Now, okay, now I'm going to my friend's house. Okay, I'm looking for an intern for Film Companion.
Yes.
Okay, my friend says my daughter is, you know, she's looking to do something, and I'm looking at it. Now, I'm going to immediately. My need is this. I'm getting this person. I know my friend. I've seen this girl grow up from this thing, so I know what kind of person she is. So, is that nepotism? Because I'm picking her because I know this person.
Exactly.
Over an unknown quantity who's going to come in and I have no idea about that person at all.
Right.
Now I'm saying that yes, I would ideally like to have this open audition and everything and all that, but sometimes you choose people because you have a gut instinct. And I'm telling you, however much you promote people, some people decide who they want to watch and who they don't want to watch.
Yes.
Okay? Now they've decided that they don't want to watch Harshvardhan Kapoor.
Right. So do you think it's too early to say that?
No. I mean, like, at least like in the first 2 or 3
Right.
movies. That's what I'm talking about. Now,
Right.
he may become a big star and, you know, all more power to him. But I'm saying at least now, the nepotism angle has only gotten him movies. It's not really taken him very far.
True, very
Okay. So you have people like that who are kind of a thing. But and you have people like Sushant Singh Rajput
Exactly.
who've come from outside and who come from television and stuff like that, who've had films and yet are not quite, you know, there.
Yeah.
So it's a question of many things. See, one thing we should understand is we are a culture that consumes celebrity news like mad.
Right.
Okay, tomorrow Aryan Khan will be launched, tomorrow Taimur will be launched because today as a bloody baby, you know, he's being photographed so much.
Right.
It's a thing. Okay, so let's examine why is he being photographed so much, right?
Yeah.
If those pages were not getting hits, paparazzi would not be taking those pictures.
Right.
They will only take pictures of people who are in the news and so we are clicking on those pages, right?
Yeah.
We are clicking on those pages. We are making a star out of a boy who can't even walk properly, right? So they are catering to our need.
And before we wrap up, sir, could you just give us a short advice for all film enthusiasts out there, like those who may be interested in being film critics or those who watch films, like what should the way be in this industry in general? Just a short.
See, I would say that just watch and read a lot. I would say watch a lot of films, read a lot about films. When I say watch a lot of films, I'm not saying that you should agree with the fact that Citizen Kane is a great film or Vertigo is a great film or Ennio Bergman is a great director. You don't have to agree. But you have to know what it is about. You have to know what they stood for, what these films did. You have to have that history in mind before going and, you know, like talking about it. You have to know what a Hitchcock did, what did he stand for. Before, you know, I'm not saying you have to like those films, but you have to know what these things were, because this is a very vast medium you're talking about, right? So, I'm saying that if you're a cinephile, it would help you to really expand your knowledge about things and know what you're talking about. Because today I find a lot of people doing things like, they talk about editing as like what is actually screenplay, they talk about it as editing, you know, things like that. So they make these very basic mistakes because they don't know craft.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a really engaging discussion.
I hope
and I'm
so,
sure
yeah.
that definitely, there's no doubt about that,
Sure.
because everything you've said has resonated with me as a fanboy,
Yeah.
and I'm sure all the people watching there have really taken back something fruitful.
Thank you. Thanks for the
so
opportunity.
much, sir.
Thanks. Yeah.
Most welcome.
Thanks.
So that's it from today's segment of Conversations with a Cinephile. It's been a really engaging discussion today with Baradwaj Rangan, sir, and we look forward to speaking more about films and a lot more. That's all from NewsBox Private Limited. This is Saahil Agnelo Periwal signing off.